Hi, I'm Chef Carol NYC. This video is part of a multi-part series on this particular product, which is the gum paste flower cutter set. Now, I'm sure there are many people who own this product who do not know how to use all of the pieces or create all of the flowers. In this series, I will cover every flower in this box, and at the end of the series, you should be able to have a beautiful centerpiece, beautiful decorations for a cake or bouquet or anything that you see fit. Remember that these gum paste flowers can be stored and kept for weeks, months, or years. Let's get to it. Gum paste leaves. Leaves are a very important part of the process of gum paste flowers. In this kit, there are several different leaf cutouts. For this project, we're going to need our 9-inch roller with the 1/16 of an inch rings, our fondant veiner, the fondant ball tool, the fondant spatula. These tools come in a kit. A Wilton water brush or any decorator brush. Floral tape for the floral wires. I'm using 22 gauge wires. This is my floral wire cutter and the floral wire tweezer. My color is juniper green. Gum paste, my cornstarch duster, toothpick for the coloring, my firm shaping pad and my soft shaping pad, the impression kit for veining the leaves and flowers, and the back of this board is also used for the leaves. I have a small rose and a large rose. I have the hibiscus, the ivy leaf, the gum paste storage pad, to start off, I'm just going to cut my floral wires into thirds. And we'll get started. We're going to start making the leaves by coloring the gum paste and using our flower impression pads. For these leaves, I'm using juniper green Wilton color gel. It's important to keep it covered to keep it from drying out. So once we have the color on the toothpick, you're going to just dot it into the gum paste. Now, to avoid getting this color on your hands, you can use gloves. You can put a bit of shortening on your hands, or you can just be very careful. I'm going to start kneading the color into the gum paste, being very careful to keep the actual gel color off of my fingers. When I make these leaves, I like to use a variegated color scheme. So I won't be coloring these into a solid color. I'm going to leave them variegated because I think it makes the leaf look more realistic. Once I have the color exactly where I want it, I'm going to roll it into a ball. I'm dusting my impression mat just to show you that in case you don't have anything to roll your gum paste out on, you can certainly use the back of the impression mat. You can use anything that doesn't stick. You can use your countertop, you can use a rollout mat, or you can use parchment paper. My preference is not to use the impression mat, just as an illustration. I'm going to place the rolled gum paste on the side of the impression mat that has the deep groove. It's been rolled out to 1/16 of an inch using the pink rings on the 9-inch roller. I'm now going to use the Hibiscus cutter, place it over the rolled out gum paste, peel away the excess. I'm going to store the excess fondant in the storage mat. Next, I'm going to flip over my impression mat, dusting the bottom, dusting the leaf, centering the leaf on the impression mat. And I'm going to very gently take my pink foam and press the gum paste onto the veining mold. And when I peel it off, I have a perfectly veined leaf. Now I'm going to take my firm purple mat and I'm going to use my large ball tool, dust it. And I'm just going to take that ball tool and run around the edges of the leaf, thinning it out, softening the petal edges, and basically giving life to the leaf. Next, I'm going to show you 3 methods for wiring your gum paste leaves. So flipping over my veined leaf to the reverse side, I'm going to take the 22 gauge wire. I'm going to put it about halfway the length of the leaf, make a soft impression. I'm going to cut a piece of gum paste, a strip that will fit right over that wire. Take a little bit of gum glue, brush it over the wire and the indentation. Then I'm going to take that piece of cut overlay and place it directly over the wire and the indentation and give it a light press just to help it adhere. I'm going to pinch the bottom of the leaf and the overlay. And now my leaf is ready to be dried. I'm going to use the flower former tray, place the leaf on the tray, and in this way it will dry in whatever shape you determine that's available on the tray. Next, I'm going to show you how to create a petal using the ridge on the reverse side of the impression mat. So I'm taking a ball of gum paste. Make sure you dust the impression mat. And I'm taking the 9-inch roller with the 1/16 of an inch rings. And what I'm doing is pushing some of the gum paste into that deep ridge. Once again, rolling it out to 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to take the small rose cutter, center it over the ridge, press to cut, taking my palette knife, lifting the gum paste, removing the excess gum paste, and put it in the storage mat. My leaf now has a raised ridge. Flipping over the impression mat, I'm going to place the leaf over the veining mold. Make sure that the ridged side is facing you. Lightly press around it. We want the raised ridge to stay in place. Peeling it off, I have a nicely veined leaf. Taking my firm pad and my small ball tool, I'm going to very gently soften the edges of the leaf. Once again, giving my leaf life. And when I flip it over, I'm going to take a little gum glue, brush it onto my floral wire, place the floral wire directly against the raised ridge, and press the ridge over the wire, covering it completely. So I'm going to flip it over and once again pinch the bottom of the leaf. The third method for veining starts with using the reverse side of the impression mat, but not making a ridge, just making an impression. Now we're going to press the mold, veining the gum paste. I'm using the small rose petal, and I'm just going to cut it out, remove the excess, place that into my storage mat. So I'm taking the small petal. Once again, I'm going to thin out the edges with my small ball tool. And as you can see, when you roll those edges, the leaf literally comes to life. Now, because the veins on this particular leaf are very slight, I'm going to take my veining tool and actually follow the light impressions, and that gives this leaf an opportunity to have a very distinct veining. Now, this is my favorite method of installing a wire. I'm actually taking the 22 gauge wire, putting gum glue on the wire, and I'm going to insert it into the gum paste. I'm going to let my fingers very carefully feel the wire as it's being pushed into the leaf. And I'm going to guide it all the way, pinching the bottom. So once again, I'm going to roll out my gum paste using my 1/16 Forever Rings on my 9-inch roller. And now I'm going to make ivy leaves. Ivy leaves are small but very decorative. And when you have the opportunity, it's a good idea to make lots of these ivy leaves. They are a very good
source of decorating and filling in bouquets and floral arrangements. I'm going to take my impression pad and vein my ivy leaves using my soft pink pad. There's a right side and a wrong side to the leaves, so be very careful when you're veining them. Check first. Now that my leaves are veined, I'm going to take my firm pad and soften the edges. Using the veining tool, I am going to give detail to my leaf by covering the leaf pattern with my veining tool. I'm using the small end of the veining tool on these leaves. For the duration of these videos, I'm going to use this process for inserting my wires, putting a little gum glue on the wire and inserting the wire into the leaf. Now, you're free to use whichever method works best for you. I think it's worth learning this particular method. It goes a long way in creating very real looking flowers, and that's our ultimate goal in gum paste flowers, to make sugar look like life. Coloring with petal dust is a very therapeutic project. The color of the leaves can represent many things. It can represent the time of the season. It can represent the type of leaf, the type of flower that's going to be paired with the leaf. As I said when I started this tutorial, I like to have a variegated leaf. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a lime green and I'm dusting the veining that was created with either the mold or with the veining fondant tool. Now, what that lighter color will do is it will become highlighted when I color it over with a darker color. It also gives the illusion of either the youth of the leaf or the age of the leaf. So it really just depends on which message you're sending, which type of bouquet you're working on, which season of bouquet you're working with. Sometimes when I'm coloring flowers and I want to have a hint of the color of the flower, I'll actually use, say for instance, a hydrangea. I would put a little blue into the coloring of the leaf so that it will look as if the blue is being reflected from the flower onto the leaf. As I said, it's very subjective to your goal and what it is you're trying to do. It's good to have different shades of green, and if you will recall, I started this tutorial by not making my leaf completely one color. I could have very easily made these leaves all Kelly green, and it would have actually locked me into the type of highlighting that I wanted to do. So as you can see, using the lighter color for the original gum paste, it allows me now to be more of an artist in coloring the leaf. So as I'm brushing on the darker color, you can see that the lighter color of lime green that I originally put on the leaf is actually coordinating with the darker color. So there's a bit of a contrast that creates a very interesting look. And remember, you have to color the back of the leaf. When your flowers are on display, they're seen from all sides. And since these are sugar flowers imitating real flowers, we know that real flowers have color on both sides. So what you do to the front, you have to do to the back. You have to make it look interesting. There's no point in doing it halfway. In for a penny, in for a pound. So at what point is the leaf finished? The leaf is finished when you're satisfied with the look. I love the way this leaf has turned out. Now I'm going to wrap the leaf. So I'm using floral wire. So you start just a little ways down from the top. And you do that so that you can push the wire up to the base of the leaf. If you need information on wrapping wires, you can refer to my tutorial on plunger flowers. Wrap this to the end. So now I have my rose leaves. These are my hibiscus leaves. And notice the difference with the overlay and with the injection of the wire right into the stem. It looks more realistic. And these are my ivy leaves. So as you're practicing, make lots and lots of leaves. You will never have too many. Beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe so that you'll know when the next video drops. Please share it with a friend. At the end of this series, you should have beautiful leaves, blooms, enough to make the most fantastic cake design imaginable. So practice, come back, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. See you soon.